Okay, Shalom, extremely important lesson this lesson. We're going to be looking at the beginning and the end and how these horrific events that are unfolding within Eretz Yisrael are connected to the beginning and the end of the Torah, and also the beginning and the end of our time of rectification and exile. Okay, so we're going to go look at some verses and see how they are directly related to the events that are occurring in Israel at this time, and the pending war, and what we are facing now in real-time reality. Okay, so this is this week's Torah portion. It's from Genesis. Well, this is the third portion. It's all from Genesis. It goes up to the place where it says, and Noah found grace in the eyes of Hashem. Okay, so we're going to look at the third Torah portion, which is Tuesday's Torah portion. And if we read chapter 2, 22, verse 22, we come across something that I've pointed out many times before, but it's so essential to understand this. This is so essential. It says, remember, these atrocities, by the way, happened on Simchat Torah, where you read the last portion of the Torah and the first portion of the Torah. So this was being read on the day that those massacres occurred. So we have to look to these. Where there was evil, we've got to transform that into light. Okay? And truth. And meth. So chapter 2, 22, it says, "Vi ben Adonai Elohim et hatzela asher lekach min ha'adam leisha vieha el ha'adam." So, and the Lord God built the side that he had taken from man into woman, and he brought her to man. So these three letters here, the start of asher lekach min, are the Aleph, Lamed, Mem, and these are connected to the mystical letters as found in the Quran that open up many surahs, the Alif, Lam, Min. And this is a reminder, though the Quran, the Muslims do not know what these letters signify. These letters signify the very first time that these letters are mentioned in Hebrew within the Torah. And it's a reminder to say, you were taken from Adam. Adam is represented by the name of Yod-Heh-Waw-Heh, the name of the Lord that is not found in Islam, because they are not the light. They are the vessels that receive the revelation of that light. So the name of Yod-Heh-Waw-Heh is what is revealed in the Torah of Moshe, and is what is revealed in the Gospels. In the Gospels, it's a higher revelation of the name of Yod-Heh-Waw-Heh, above the letter of the Torah. Okay? And they need to unite. The Torah of Moshe and the Torah of Yeshua, or the Gospels and the Torah, need to unite. And then in truth. Not with the Erev Rav influence that we find in Judaism, and not with the Edomite influence that is found in Christianity. They need divesting of this evil to reveal the light that they're hiding. That united light, inner light, needs to then unite with Islam. It's the vessel that has been made for man. What has she been made for? To help man, not to kill man like Lilith, not to say I am more superior than man. She is not. She is his helpmate. She's going to be brought to a place where she's equal and opposite her husband. We're in a process of being rectified to this degree, but right now she's in a state of rebellion. She's even like a black widow, wants to kill her husband. And this is what we've seen in Gaza at this time. This has to be dealt with, because it's an unholy, ungodly order. But there's problems also within Judaism and Christianity, because the Torah of Moshe is hidden, is descended. On the death of Moshe, the Torah of Moshe descended into Erev Rav domination. That's why Moshe was pleading. This is according to the Vilna Gaon. What does that mean? The Vilna Gaon says the Torah of Moshe has descended into the Aggadic tales within the Talmud, which represent a quarter to a third of the entire Talmud. These conceal the Torah of Moshe. They obscure the Torah of Moshe. They create ego and arrogance and a false sense of superiority instead of humility. The Torah of Moshe brings humility. There's nobody more humble than Moshe. But what have we got now with the Jewish people? Great amount of arrogance. It's not the Torah of Moshe that they're studying, is it then? If they studied the Torah of Moshe, they would have pure humility. Instead, they've been humbled this way. It's not the desirable way to be humbled, through suffering and pain and misery and the thought of what might have to come. But such is exile. Such is exile. And they will only be good in the end. Even through this evil, it will all be transformed to good. The Christians, they have got the revelation of the name of Yod-Heh-Wah-Weh above the letter of the Torah, as what's revealed in the book of Micah, chapter 7, verses 18 to 20. Me, chamocha, who is like unto God? But this too has descended into all the gods of Edom. It's got concealed like a foreskin over it. And we have got to remove that foreskin. Islam is a some way towards removing that foreskin. They was founded on Jewish Christianity, not Edomite Christianity, Pauline Christianity. They was formed, the foundation stone of Islam is Jewish Christianity, Ebionite Christianity, non-Trinitarian Syriac Christianity. The gospel as revealed without the Edomite influence. That was the foundation of Islam. But it's descended into Ishmaelite clipper. This is the three heads of the clipper. Erev Rav, the clipper of the Jews. Edom, the clipper of the Christians. Ishmael, the clipper of it means the outer evil dark shell that conceals the light and the truth that's hidden within. You see these men falling out of the sky in paragliders and massacring and beheading babies. This, for sure, is the evil outer shell. It's not the light. It's not the truth of Islam. It's a concealment of the truth of Islam. The truth of Islam is peace for all people. They don't present that message, and they're like black widows fighting their own husband. The Aleph Lamed Min, the Aleph Lam Min of the Surah, the beginning of the Surah in the Quran, is there to remind you from where you came. None of us are perfect in exile. God put us into this exile to test us, to see if we would see only what is on the outside, or if we could bother ourselves, get rid of our egos, get rid of our arrogance, and see and be humbled by the truth of what God has been doing in Judaism, in Christianity, and in Islam. Do we see the outer evil, or do we see the inner good that is only God? That's for us to decide. We can only do that when we humble ourselves, when we want to see God more than ourselves, when we want to justify the power and glory, give glory to the God more than we give glory to our own egos and our own arrogance and our own bodies and ultimately our death. We glorify ourselves or glorify God. If you are determined that this whole world is filled with His glory, you will find it. And if not, you're going to see evil everywhere you look. And that evil is only your own evil, because you only want to see yourself in this world. You only want to give glory to yourself. You see, what you are is evil. And if you are focused on glorifying yourself, the whole world will be full with your evil. And we have to humble ourselves in order to see the whole world is actually full of God and what He has been doing to correct all of humanity for good. Our choice. Okay, so that's the first instance of the Aleph Lam Min, from which you, here look, Asher Lekah Min, that which you were taken from, Ha'adam, man. So the Islam was taken from the man, which is represented by the name of Yod-Heh-Wah-Weh, which is represented Judah and Yosef. They need to unite. This is the Aleph. It's the Tifereth, it's the Yesod, and it's the Malkuth, the kingdom. Islam represents the kingdom. That's why it's got power over the Temple Mount at this time. But it should have power through the husband, not in her own right, not like grabbing it for herself like a rebellious woman saying, this is mine. It's not. It's like the woman that prepares the house for the man. You know, who's she preparing it for? Herself and her lovers, to try and get them to bow down to her authority. It's a rebellious wife. She's not in charge. She'll be preparing it for her husband. But how can she prepare it for her husband when he does evil? Because he's influenced by the own arrogance within his own teachings. We've got to divest of this. Okay, so the next time we see this, still in the same Torah portion, I think I'm right. And 3:13. I think it's from here. Yes, it is. The next occurrence is right in this verse here where it all went wrong. And the Lord God said to the woman, "What is this that you have done?" And the woman said, "The serpent enticed me and I ate." And we have that, the second occurrence. Elohim, God, La'isha, to the woman, "What?" He asked, "What? What have you done? What have you done?" Okay. So again, we've got this significance, haven't we? Because this is what put us into the situation where we now need to be rectified from it. And all humanity is in a process of being rectified, and especially Eve. It's represented by the woman that is most represented by Islam. Because they are the vessel, they represent the body, they represent the nations, all the nations that must be refined in order to receive a revelation of the light, which comes from Israel. Israel is to be a light to the nations, and it's not just the Jews, it's all of the house of Israel. And this is predominantly the Christians, but there's a lot of the lost house of Israel also in Islam. There's the Taliban. They trace their origins back there, Bnei Israel. They're not Muslims, they're not of the nations, and not of Israel, they're Bnei Israel. The Pashtuns, they're Bnei Israel. And this is the case. You can do the reveals on YouTube to see about the Arabs. They're not true Arabs. Most of them have Jewish descendants. And also, not only that, the Palestinians. There's been up to 85% of them have been tested and they have Jewish ancestry. They're not true Arabs. They are Jews. And they are from Bnei Israel also. Only God himself knows who is who. Okay, and it will be revealed in the end. So Israel has got to be a light to the nations. And God has found a way for this to be so, because he's been a light to the nations through the Jewish people, he's been a light to the nations through Islam, and he's been a light to the nations through Christianity. But predominantly the light is the Jews and the Christians, and the vessels and the nations is Islam. This is the man and the woman. Okay, the third occurrence is in this same part, it's in the next portion. So they was both in the second portion. The third occurrence of the Aleph Lam Min, or the Aleph Lamed Mem, is here. End of chapter 3. We have, "Why shall Jehu Adonai Elohim migan Eden la'avod et ha'adamah asher lukach misham." And it's there, look. Aleph Lamed Mim. Alif Lam Min. Whence he had been taken. Where had he been taken? Well, he'd now been taken from the Garden of Eden, and the Lord sent him out of the Garden of Eden to till the soil, to come down to earth and correct earth, to do the work down here in order to rectify the whole of creation. So he sent him out of the garden to till the earth from where he had been taken. From the Adama we are taken. God formed man from the ground, from the dirt. So that's just to remind you as well, we've got a limited time, each and every one of us. We came from the dirt, we'll return to the dirt, the ground. We've got a limited time, each and every one of us, to rectify ourselves. We've got to work for 6 days, which are the 6,000 years of creation. We're very near the end. Okay. He says, and he drove the man out, and he stationed from the east of the garden the cherubim and the blade of the revolving sword to guard to the way to the tree of life. We often rely on swords. Did we try and rely on the sword to bring peace? So the sword will never bring peace. King David is what will bring peace. Moshiach ben David is what will bring peace. Moshiach ben David, he said, Ani Shalom, I am peace. Okay? We have to see beyond the evil outer shell. Okay, we're all exiled. That means we're all given the job of fighting against the outer evil and to be born into the truth from the lies. We've got to break out of the lies, and we've got to break out of the influence that we've inherited in this exile. We're all in Edomite exile. We're all subject to Roman, Greco-Roman, Western influence. Look how everybody in the world dresses. They all dress the same. We're all influenced by Western ideology, politics, democratics, academia. It's all Greek and Greco-Roman. All the music industry, all the arts, every industry, the banking systems, everything is based on Rome. We're all subject to its influence, and we all are exiled as a consequence, because we all lose our understanding of God, and we all get our knowledge of God is distorted through this, like a cracked lens. We can't see clearly. We like blind people thinking, oh, look at God. This is not God. This is God viewed through your broken lens. Cracked, broken, obscured lens. That is not God that you are looking at. Only Moshe could see clearly. He was the one who could see clearly, the vision of God clearly. And he came again as Yeshua, and it would very much appear that a prophet like Moshe came as the Mahmed. The Mahmed. Muhammad is a title that's related to a prophecy regarding the coming of the Moshiach, the Mahmed, the desirable one. But all this has been concealed. This is another delusion. So it was the Mahmed that came, not Muhammad. It's a title. It was a prophet who came that revealed the truth about Yeshua, some of the truth about Yeshua, not all of it, Jesus, and some of the truth about the Torah of Moshe. But again, it didn't come fully. There was a lot of concealment, because evil people took over, and they took the message and they took the identity of the messenger and they disguised it in what their own ideas are. There's lies in all these religions, and we need to divest of the lies and go back to the original gospel, the original Torah and the original Quran. They've all been corrupted by man and for his evil, and that creates evil in its followers and adherents to that religion. We need to get rid of the lies. We need to see God and only God, nothing else beside him. Okay, so they're the first 3 times it appeared in Torah. This, however, going back to here, there was one appearance, I think it's here. Oh no, it was the one prior to this. 3:13. Where is it now? 3:13 here. It says here, this is very interesting. It says, it might not be there, just wait a minute. Yeah, it's here. YVAH. And the woman was brought or came. Vieha el ha'adam, to the man. God brought the woman to the man. But this word here is vieha. And the middle three letters are enclosed with the two last three letters, the Vav and the He, from the name Yod He Vav He. But in the middle is Yavie, Yod Vav Aleph, and that is related to the Moshiach. Because if we go to look at the blessings to Yehuda, it says, the scepter shall not depart from Yehuda, nor the student of Torah from between his feet until Shiloh comes, and that is Yavo Shiloh. So those three letters that were surrounded by the Vav and the He of the name Yod He Waw He, and the Vav represents heaven and the He represents earth. So in between heaven and earth was the coming of the Moshiach, which is Yeshua. Yavo Shiloh was Yeshua, the coming of Yeshua. It's not fully revealed because this light, in order for the light to come into this world, it had to be enclosed in darkness. So it had to be enclosed in all the gods of Esav, and it had to be enclosed in this foreskin of Esav, and then it was fully foreskinned up in Christianity, completely and totally transformed into idol worship. And then within Israel there was within Islam there was a circumcision, and some of that heavy foreskin, the first layer of the foreskin, the thick orla, was removed, but still the priya remained. The priya is the inner fine membrane. Okay, so Yavo Shiloh, we're really nearly there. Okay, it's connected. What we've just read is connected to the coming of Moshiach. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the last appearance of it then, see how significant this is. Very significant, because when did this horrific war occur? It occurred on Sukkoth, it occurred on Simchat Torah, the 8th day, the day after Sukkoth. And we've got this, look. This is the last appearance of the Aleph Lam Min, the Aleph Lamed Mim in the Torah. Waitzu Moshe otam lema miketz sheva shanim bemoed shenat hashmita bahag Asukoth. Okay, so we've got the Aleph Lamed Mim here. Otam lema miketz. Miketz is very, very significant, because that's a Torah portion which tells us about Moshe. It tells us about Yosef and the dream of the Pharaoh that brought Yosef from out of the pit, that he'd been falsely accused of raping Potiphar's wife, and he got flung into the pit, and then he was 2 full years whilst he corrected his faith. It was not longer than that. He was 2 full years after the cupbearer left, and he called out, remember me and take me out of here. Remember me to Pharaoh and take me out. So Otom Lemor Miketz, we're going to have a look at that Miketz. Then Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years at an appointed time, the festival of Sukkoth, after the year of release, which is the Shemitah year, the 7th year, when all Israel comes to appear before the Lord your God in the place he will choose, which turned out to be Jerusalem, you shall read this Torah before all Israel in their ears. And ears is connected to understanding. We've got to circumcise our ears so we understand the true Gospels, the true Torah and the true Quran, the true message. So here, look. To them he said, from the end, or at the end, from the end. Okay, so what's that connected to? Here, the Parashah Miketz, which is read always at Hanukkah. Miketz is usually read maybe every 23 years it's not read, but usually this is the end, read at Hanukkah. So we know something else is significant, so we're going to look at some gematria very shortly. It says, Wahi miket shanatayim yamim ufaro holem wahine omed al hayor. So it says, and it came to pass at the end of 2 full years, this is the 2,000 years of Edomite Roman exile, to which we've all been exiled in order to correct our faith in the one true God, that Pharaoh was dreaming, and behold, he was standing on the Nile. So here comes the dream that then led on to Joseph's freedom from exile, from his pit. Okay? And this is a code name for 2,000 years. He had a dream. And if we look at these words, Maket Shenatayim Yomim Ufaro Holem, the initial letters of Maket Shenatayim Yomim, and then we pass over, we jump over the word Pharaoh, Holem, the dream, spell Moshiach. We know Passover means to jump over, to leap over. God leapt over the houses of Bnei Israel and didn't strike them. In the end, the Moshiach will even leap over the household of Pharaoh. Pharaoh is going to be saved. Every human will be. Because we've got the story of Jonah to prove that. Because the name, as revealed on Yom Kippur, where the book of Jonah is read, is even powerful enough to redeem the pharaohs of this world. And we've all got a spark of Pharaoh within us. We all can rebel against God. We can all be arrogant. Pharaoh symbolises stubbornness and arrogance. And he believes he can get to say how things are. You know, mine is this river. This is my river, I made it myself. We can all be arrogant like that. But God will bring even in that for the purpose of good. Moshiach is the only power. Because the Moshiach is the revelation of the name of Yod-Heh-Waw-Heh. It's ultimately all about a revelation of the name of Yod-Heh-Waw-Heh to fill the entire earth and the entire of history and the entire of creation with the revelation of the glory of his name. Okay, so it's connected to that. There's some other quite interesting places where this shows up. The Aleph Lamed Mim. This is one of them. Here, look, this is a very significant verse. It says, and these are the kings who reigned in the land of Edom. We're in Edomite exile now. All humanity, whether you're Jew, Christian, Muslim, or of the nations, we are all suffering Edomite Western, Greco-Roman Western influence. We have all got to fight against that influence, to have a godly influence. So here we have Edom Lifnei Meloch. So Edom is the Edomite exile. Before reigned Melech Livnei Yisrael, a king for the children of Israel. So this is prior to a revelation of the king of the children of Israel. Bear in mind what I said. A vast majority of Muslims, or a big amount of the Muslims, are actually Bnei Israel, but they don't know it. Massive amount of the Christians are Bnei Israel, they don't know it. And even there will be hidden Jews in the world because of what happened in the Holocaust. Massive amount of people got assimilated, but they're still Jewish, and God knows that they are, and he will return them. He will be king over them. And then we will be a light to the nations, those people that aren't of the seed of Israel. Probably so everybody in the world by now will be of the seed of Israel. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the ultimate revelation, because the seed went out throughout all the earth. It would be very difficult for one human to have avoided some of the seed of Israel from being part of their ancestry. And then this is very significant, because I think this is actually a revelation of Christianity and Muslim. It says, so he blessed them on the day, saying, with you Israel will bless, saying, may God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh. And we say this over our sons every Shabbat. Put the hands on their heads and say, may God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh. And he placed Ephraim before Manasseh. So you've got Ephraim, Lifnei Manasseh. Now, if you think that some of the house of Joseph went into Islam, and some of the house of Joseph went into Christianity. Christianity came before Ephraim. Christianity is Manasseh, the firstborn. Ephraim is the secondborn of Joseph's sons. So some of the lost house of Joseph is within Islam and others beside. Some of the lost house of Joseph is within Christianity and others beside. So the first is Manasseh, but Ephraim came before him. Why? Because the Muslims are circumcised, predominantly circumcision. And Ephraim, the second layer of the Christians are completely and totally covered with the thickest foreskin. The Muslims have the biggest, thickest part of the foreskin they've removed. It's only a very thin membrane that's not removed, and it's called the priya, and it means it's connected to the word fruit. But here, Ephraim means fruitful, pari, and then Ephraim. It's got the words pari, as in priya, the second layer of the circumcision. And really, they came after the Christians, but really they're more holy because of the circumcision and because they've got rid of the idol worship that you find within Christianity. There's a big truth hidden in the idol worship, but until that truth is revealed, they are in a state of unholiness. Until that truth is fully revealed and connected to the Torah, then they're in a lesser state of holiness than Ephraim. That's why Ephraim is before Manasseh. They're more holy. In ways, the Muslims are more holy. The way that Christians behave sometimes is just diabolical. They would think that there's no awareness of God. You know, I'm not saying all Christians, because Christians can be very, very kind, but when it comes to matters of holiness, Kedusha, sometimes they are like, there's no holiness there. There's kindness, there's forgiveness, there's grace. But what about Kedusha? What about holiness and separateness? We'll be able to separate yourselves from the ways of the nations. They don't separate themselves from the Edomite ways and the Greco-Roman ways. They're completely immersed in that reality. And as they are immersed in that reality, there's no Kedusha. The Muslims are much holier. There's a level of holiness and Kedusha to Islam that is not found in... They are separate, at least to know how wicked the West is. The Christians have no idea. They glorify this. So there's that to bear in mind. Ephraim, Lifnei, Manasseh, this is connected to what we see also, but it's only for the glory of God that the lost house of Joseph was able to descend into that level of evil for only one reason, because ultimately from that place they had to, because they received the highest revelation of his name. Okay, if you take the word Nachash, it's Nun Shin. It's the same gematria as Moshiach, but it's spelt differently. It's the Nun Nahash, Nun Het Shin. Moshiach is Mem Shin Yud Het. So two of the letters are the same, but the Nun, you take the 50 of the Nun and you transform that into the 40 and the 10. The 40 of the Mem and the 10 of the Yud. And those two letters, what do they spell? Who. Where do we get this revelation of the who from? From the Nun of the serpent to the Mem Yud of Moshiach. We need to convert the Nun, the fallen. And the Nun represents the fallen of the house of David. The fallen succor of David is the Nun, the serpent. We need to transform that into the Mem Yud. Same value, 50. The 50th gate of understanding. It's who. These words, Mem Yud, who. Where is this who? It's in the book of Micah, chapter 7. Mi chamocha. Who is like you, God? We got to. It's the revelation that Yeshua brought to us. The revelation of the most highest level of the name Yod-Heh-Wah-Weh, the brightest light. But it had to get covered up in the darkest of darkness, because it is the brightest light. Mi chamocha. It's the Mem Yud of the Moshiach that perfectly reveals the name of Yod Heh Wah. It's just a revelation of the power and glory of his name, the sovereignty of his name, the kingship of his name. Mi chamocha. It's the 13 attributes of mercy as revealed in the book of Micah, above the letter of the Torah. Okay, let's quickly go and have a look at some gematria regarding all this matter. Right, I've got to do this very quickly because I've got some things that I need to get done. Okay, then Moses commanded them, saying that at the end of every 7 years, at the time appointed in the festival of Sukkoth, after the year of release. So we're going to have a look at these numbers. It's very interesting. It's going to help bring us to a place of shalom without having to go through this impending great war that looks like we're facing. The truth shall set us free. So we've got this, Otom lemor miketz aleph lam mim. Command them, saying at the end, these numbers. So straight away, 138 is one of the names of Moshiach, branch. And the name of Moshiach, that's revealed in the Torah. This is revealed in the Talmud, Menachem, 138. So we know it's talking about the Moshiach. We know it's talking actually about revelation of Moshiach ben Dawid. Tzemech, it means the absolute place that we're all intended to get to. The final rectification of Adam, where we are like a tree that is ever growing and ever flourishing. We are only ever ascending. We're only getting closer and closer and closer to Hashem. We're only being able to perceive His in face to face. It's where all of Adam is going to be rectified to. Adam and Hava is going to be Adam and Haya, the mother of all living, and the Muslims are going to help us accomplish this, because we are Adam and Haya are one. So this is how it's connected to this phrase, Zot Hanukkah, which is the 8th day of Hanukkah, very powerful revelation. This was a dedication offering on the altar. This is a rededication of the Holy Temple. It's representing the kingdom, the house for the husband. So it's connected, 948. I'm going to be having a look at this as well. Some very interesting things that link us all up. Let's just quickly go and have a look. Tahom, the deep. This is the final exile. This is one of the words to describe as bohu v'tohu, which is chaos, absolute chaos. These are two of the exiles. And then there's Hoshek, darkness, which is Greece. And then there's Tahom, which represents the Edomite exile that we're in now. So that's connected to Zot Hanukkah HaMizbeach. We need rededication after this exile, the Greco-Roman exile. It was the Greeks that desecrated the Holy Temple. We're in a Greco-Roman mindset. So this comes via Eliyahu Hanavi, 120. This is also the ideal number of years for a man. And it's also, I think, the number of jubilees cycles in 6,000. Yeah, I think it's 120 times 50, isn't it? 6,000. So it's the number of jubilee cycles. I think that's significant as well. But Eliyahu is the prophet that has to come before a revelation of Moshiach. It's a flow of profound revelation of truth. Eliyahu represents the truth that's given over to Yaakov. Okay, I've talked about that a lot. So this 947, in the presence of the sun and before the moon, comes to a Mispah Gadol of that. Regular, Mispah Gadol ordinal, added together is that, which is 2 times 948 or 4 times 474. 474 is significant, is da'ath, knowledge. We've got our knowledge. We ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Our knowledge fell from our front of our head down into our flesh. So distorted, because our knowledge is our perception of the Moshiach and our perception of the name of Yod Heh Wah Heh. This has fallen down into our flesh, which is representing our body, our Esav. It's gone into Greco-Roman dominion. It needs raising back up to its rightful place. This is the only place in the entire Tanakh where you've got the Moshiach spelt in order at the end of the words. Mem, Shin, Yod, Chet. The initial letters rearranged to spell Yeshua. Yeshua is the Moshiach. And that's our knowledge. And everything that represents, it really represents mi chamocha, the 17 attributes of the light of Mashiach ben Yosef is mi chamocha, the 17 attributes of mercy as revealed in the book of Micah at the level of Keter, the crown, the corona of the Yesod that needs to be uncircumcised. This is the day that Yod Heh Wawi has made. So 474 times 2 is these again. King of the nations and King of Israel, regular and ordinal, add up. This and this too. Bearing in mind the King of Israel is Moshe. This 731 is Moshe plus Yeshua. 345 plus 386 comes to 731. King of the nations, however, God is not just wanting to be King of Israel, he wants to be King of the nations also. 948 is all related. In the end, he will be King over both. This is very curious. This is coming up to this dedication offering. In the Garden of Eden, there was the man, the Nachash, and Isha. We need to take the nun of the Nachash and create the Moshiach out of it. Like I've said, because the regular of all these, man, serpent, and woman, comes to 975. The ordinal comes to 102, which is Emunah. It's connected to Emunah. And we have to restore our Emunah. If we add those up together, it comes to 1007. We've got to transform our Emunah into knowledge, so that we don't just believe in God, that we know God. Want that, and we're in a state of continual growth. We continually knowing Him more and more. We don't even need faith anymore. We simply know there's only God and nothing else beside Him. So until we've got our faith completely rectified, those two add up to 1077, 3 times 359, which is Satan. That is a very significant number in other ways. Actually, it's linked up to Yonah. If we add this, and the square ordinal of all these comes to 1710, which is the square ordinal of, this was a dedication offering to the altar. So we've got to take this and transform it so that we can rededicate the holy temple. What do we transform that into then? Well, we've got to have man, Moshiach, and woman. The nun becomes the Mem Yud, the Moshiach. Okay, it gives us different numbers. The ordinal comes to 111, 1111, which is, 111, which is Aleph. The Aleph, the letter Aleph spelt out is 111. If we add these two together now, we get 1086, which is exactly the same as the regular and ordinal up here. So we know the Mashiach is linked to this. Commanded them, saying, at the end, fulfillment of this here. This is the Aleph, Lam, Mim that we want to see revealed. We've got this evil version of it instead, haven't we? The Jews and the Christians and the Muslims have been brought together in death, in war, in darkness, and in evil. That's not God's intention is to bring us together in love and kindness. What do the Arabs want from the Jews, really, and the Christians? I'll tell you what they want. They want to be loved and respected for the good wife that they are. Not this black widow. They want to be restored. They've done a great good in this world. They've brought glory to God. And they have just been mocked and ridiculed and abused and everything else, and looked down upon and treated as if they are lowly and insignificant. They need raising up. They've done wonderful things. They need divesting of the filthy rags of exile and given the honour that they are due. They've worked very hard to fill this world full of a revelation of the glory of God. They've been holy. You know, we've got to start to recognise this. They want respect and dignity. Every woman does. They want love. You treat a woman You treat a woman as bad as what the Muslims have been treated in this world by Yehuda and Yosef. You'll get back you'll reap what you sow. They are a woman spurned. Got to see it for what it is. They are worthy of respect. Okay, they might not be perfect, none of us are. Take these filthy rags off. We have got an inner power within. The truth is what will set us free. We are able to break over, we are able to dominate over those evil outer shells, all of us. If we are empowered with the inner truth, we will overcome the outer evil. We will all overcome our outer evil. Be humbled. Be doing what we should be doing instead of creating war and death. We will create life, truth and life. So 1086 is exactly this. This is exactly as we should all be gathered together in Jerusalem at the time of Sukkot, listening to the whole of the Torah, all together in joy. But we've got this instead. We have to take this and transform it into that. So let's have a look at this number here, 1783, which is both this and this added together, I do believe. It's the square ordinals of all this. Square ordinals of this comes to the word of truth. The word of truth, the square ordinal, plus the regular and the ordinal, 1783. We need the truth shall set us free. The truth shall set us free. Not lies, not the serpent, the Moshiach that reveals the truth, that is the name of Yod-Heh-Wah-Weh, that is connected all to the truth that is written in the Torah, the true Gospels, the true Quran. The truth shall set us free. The truth shall set us free. The word of truth, we all know the truth when we hear it. We all know the truth when we hear it, because it frees us. It frees us. We feel that freedom. Lechem min hashamayim, bread from heaven. So we've got the square ordinal and the square ordinal mispakadol to take into account that the Sophite letters change. The ones on the LN change form. So that comes to 3 times 1783. Who is the bread from heaven? It's a revelation of the name of Yod-Heh-Wah-Weh above the letter of the Torah. Hebrew slave, Eved Ivri. This is what Yosef was called. Exactly the same as Moshiach, by the way, look. 358. Yosef is Moshiach. Yeshua is Moshiach. He's capable. He's the me of the nun. He starts off as the nun of the Nachash. He gets transformed into the me of me Chamocha. It's a revelation of the name of Yod-Heh-Wah-Weh. He's not the fallen of David, by the way. He's raised up. This fallen of David is raised up to me Chamocha. This becomes the throne of David. Right, square regular is 28 times 1783. 2 times David. 28 is 2 times 14. 14 is David. So the unity between David and Moshiach ben Yosef. On a young lion and a cobra you will tread. We will have no enemies, nothing to fear at all. 1783. This is the dedication on the altar filled. It comes to 2597. Yeshua's filled out with a nun. The nun is filled with a vav. This is all the regulars of his name. The first filling. This is the regular spelling of Yeshua. The first filling of Yeshua and the second filling of Yeshua. If we add up all the regulars and the ordinals of all these 3 spellings, so they're all the ordinals, they're all the regulars, it comes to 2597. He is the rededication of the temple. The truth that is revealed through Yeshua, who is a revelation of the Mi Chamocha, the name of Yod-Heh-Wah-Weh above the letter of the Torah, that is the Moshiach, and that's what brings us the rededication of the altar. Zot Hanukkah. And also 1086, which is here, Moshiach, man and woman, and is also this Aleph Lam Mim, or Aleph Lamed Min, Aleph Lamed Mem, the Mikates, is all the Malkuth, the matriarchs, which is the Malkuth, the kingdom. Sarah Rivka, Leah, Rachel comes to 1086. The Torah is perfect. The true Gospels are perfect. The true Quran is perfect. Okay, and through the Gematria, which is the way we are supposed to reveal this truth, we can see just how perfect God is. Shalom.